Okay, good morning, or whatever salutation is right for you in this moment. It's morning for me here. Let's start, as always, by rolling the body down, coming to lie on the back of the body. So rolling yourself all the way down, making sure the spine feels long and aligned, and then just extending the arms out long today, bringing the arms out to shoulder height and then bending through the elbows, creating a 90-degree bend in the elbows so that we're goalposting or cactusing out the arms. Just allowing the eyes to softly close, softening through the jaw, through the neck, the shoulders. Taking this time, this moment, just for you, to connect in with the body, to connect in with the breath. This is your opportunity to leave all of the shoulds and musts of the day behind. All of the many time pressures that you have. Just giving yourself permission to make this space for yourself today. Feeling the breath as it flows down into the belly. Observing the natural curve of the spine. Noticing where the spine connects with the floor. And where the spine gently lifts away from the floor. All the while continuing to breathe. And then gently deepening the breath. And taking the arms overhead, lengthening out through the body. So stretching away through the fingertips, through the toe tips, lengthening. And then let's interlace the fingers, turning the palms of the hands to face away from the body. Flexing through the feet and once more pushing away. So lengthening through the body, this time flexing through the feet, pushing the heels away and pushing the heels of the hands away. Continuing to breathe deeply. And releasing. Just allowing the feet and the arms to rest in a comfortable position. And then once more, inhaling. So again, pushing the palms of the hands away from the body, flexing through the feet. Feeling that stretch opening up through the backs of the legs, perhaps through the shoulders, lengthening through the back of the body. And releasing. And then let's step the feet to a little wider than hip width distance apart, bringing the arms apart as well. So creating a star here on the floor. And then working with a diagonal stretch. So stretching from the right hand down into the left toes. Really imagining that somebody is holding on, pulling the right hand and the left foot away from the body. Opposite limbs remain soft. And releasing over to the opposite side. So this time left hand stretches away, right foot stretches away. Imagining that diagonal stretch radiating out from the belly button. Releasing once more to each side. So over to the first side, stretching and lengthening. Releasing, and last time left hand down into the right foot. And releasing, stepping the feet back together, and then let's hug the knees gently into the chest, squeezing them in. Bringing the hands over the knees, let's create some small circles with the knees in one direction, and then back the other way. Squeezing the knees in once more, and then bringing the hands out to shoulder height. Let's inhale, and then as we exhale, dropping the knees down towards the right elbow, turning the head to look out to the left, seeing if we can soften through the left shoulder, allowing your eyes to close if you feel comfortable to do so. And then engaging the core, let's inhale, drawing the knees back up to center, and exhaling, sweeping the knees down to the left, and the head turns to look out to the right. Continuing to breathe here, continuing to soften. Inhaling, lifting up, and then once more exhaling, taking the knees down towards the right elbow. And this time, if you would like to, then straightening through the legs, turning the head to look away, seeing if you can catch the straightened legs with your right hand. Breathing, seeing if we can stack the hips one on top of the other, and then releasing. So bending through the knees, drawing them back up to center, and exhaling, left side. So knees come down towards the elbow, and if you would like to, gently straightening through the legs, head turns to look away. Again, aiming to stack the hips one on top of the other. So checking in with the feet, seeing if they're stacked one on top of the other. Noticing that if the hips are not stacked, then the feet also won't be stacked. Bending through the knees, drawing the knees back up to center. Let's squeeze the knees into the armpits and releasing, crossing over the ankles, and then bringing the hands down on the outside of the legs, taking hold of the big toes and working our way into some spinal rolls. So giving the spine a nice massage here in this position, rolling yourself down as slowly as you can, and then engaging the core, helping you lift up. Once more, rolling down, curving through the spine as you roll the body down and lifting up. Let's cross the feet over in the opposite direction, working with a few more here. You might find that you can get some momentum going. You might find that you would really like to slow this movement down even further, working with whatever your body feels it needs today. Rolling yourself down once more, and then let's just experiment with unwrapping the toes, maybe supporting the legs with the hands. Maybe you can reach the arms all the way down to the feet. Just pausing here, you can experiment with bending one knee and the other. Perhaps you'd like to push away through the heels. And then slowly releasing the body down. So returning the hands to the toes, gently unwinding yourself, and then working our way all the way up to a seated position and coming up to standing. So let's tuck the toes under, sending the tailbone up into the sky, finding the stretch here through the backs of the legs. Just pausing for a moment, really aiming to lengthen through the backs of the legs. So feeling that we are lengthening and tilting that tailbone up into the sky. You can still keep a gentle bend through the knees. And then let's roll the body up. So tucking the tailbone under, engaging through the core so that we can roll the spine up. Coming all the way up to standing, circling through the shoulders, and then back the other way. Having a nice shake out here, and then let's take the arms up overhead, coming up onto the balls of your feet, walking around on your mat, in your space, rotating through the wrists, just warming up here through the wrists, through the ankles, and then coming down onto flat feet, hip widths are a little wider apart. Let's bring the right hand to take hold of the left hand, and then gently releasing over. Finding the stretch through the side of the body, inhaling, lifting up, swapping the hands over, exhaling. Inhaling, lifting up once more. Exhaling, swapping the hands, finding that stretch through the side body. Inhaling, lifting up. Last time, exhaling. Inhaling, lifting up, releasing the arms, and then finding our way into helicopter swings. So feet are firmly planted down on the floor, bringing the hands out in front of you, making sure you have plenty of space around you, that you're not going to bump into anything. And then gently swinging the arms back behind you, watching as those hands travel back behind you. Working your way up towards shoulder height with the arms. And then traveling the arms all the way up into the sky. Continuing to watch the back hand as it travels back behind you. Working to bring movement, strength, and flexibility into the spine here. So continuing to lift up as tall as we can through the spine at the same time as we bring in this motion. Working the arms back down, bringing them back down to hip height. And then when they come to a still point, let's just step the feet together and pausing for a moment with the eyes closed. Coming into the breath. Feeling the soles of the feet connecting down into the floor, feeling the crown of the head lifting up into the sky. Feeling that very subtle, gentle engagement through the core, helping you lift and lengthen, helping you open through the chest, and helping the shoulder blades travel down the back of the body. Blinking the eyes open, let's step the feet to a comfortable distance apart. Keeping that gentle engagement through the core, bringing the arms up to shoulder height. Let's inhale, exhaling, folding the body forward, pausing at halfway. And then looking forward, seeing if you can extend your arms forward, keeping the upper body in one straight line. So from the hands right through to the hips, releasing and exhaling, softening the body forward. Having a gentle rub through the backs of the legs here. And releasing. Let's soften gently through the knees. Inhaling, let's roll the body up. Coming back up to standing, and then circling through the shoulders, bringing the hands behind you and interlacing the hands. So aiming to bring the palms of the hands together here. Rolling the shoulder blades back and down, keeping that gentle engagement through the core. And then this time, once more, folding the body forward. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, folding forward, seeing if we can lift the arms up towards the sky while we continue to squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then softening the head down towards the floor. Continuing to actively work to lift the hands up into the sky, and then gently releasing the hands back down to the lower back, and then releasing the arms, just allowing the hands to come down towards the floor. And then let's see if we can walk the hands over towards the right foot. Seeing if we can inhale, lifting up a little through the back, and then softening. Once more, inhaling, lifting, exhaling, seeing if we can gently soften. And then slowly walking the hands back to center. Let's lift here. So inhaling, coming to a flat back. And once more, exhaling, softening down. Walking the hands over towards the left foot. Inhaling, lifting up. Exhaling, folding the body down along the leg. Inhaling, let's lift up once more. And exhaling, softening down. Taking the awareness into the stretch. Remembering that we want to maintain a very gentle, a very subtle bend through the knees here, trying not to lock the knees out. And then returning the hands and the body back to center. Inhaling, let's lift up. And then exhaling, feeling that Tailbone lifting up into the sky, feeling the head traveling down towards the floor. Gently shifting the body weight backwards and forwards. So leaving the entire length of the foot here down on the floor, just subtly shifting the body weight from the heels into the balls of the feet and back again. And then coming back to center, seeing if we can soften the body a little further down towards the floor. And then let's lift up. Having a gentle bend through the knees, let's roll the spine up once more. And then heel and toe, stepping the feet back together until we return once more into Tadasana, pose of the mountain. Again, let's just close the eyes, connecting in with the breath, connecting in with the body. Gently blinking the eyes open once more, having a nice shake out. And then let's work our way down onto all fours, so into tabletop, so that we can work with a couple of rounds of cat-cow. So bringing the knees directly below the hips, wrists are directly below the shoulders, and then let's inhale, dropping through the belly, looking forward, and then releasing, pushing the spine away. Gaze towards the belly button, and then releasing back through neutral spine, pushing the belly down towards the floor, looking forward, tailbone lifts up, pushing down into the hands, helping us open through the chest, releasing back through neutral spine, pushing away through the spine this time, pushing it up towards the sky. Again, looking to the belly button, tailbone tucks under, and releasing, working with a few more of these in your own time. Just taking the awareness into your body, moving any way that your body feels you need to in this moment. So it might be simply up and down as we have been doing. You might like to bring in some swaying from side to side as you transition. And then finding your way back to a neutral spine. And then let's plant the weight down into the left hand. Inhaling, let's lift up through the right hand, sweeping that arm down underneath you, pulling the arm all the way through so that we can bring the shoulder down to the floor. Feeling that twist through the spine. Inhaling, lifting up, sweeping the arm up to the sky, and then exhaling once more, drawing that arm all the way through. If you feel comfortable here, you can lift the opposite arm off the floor, taking it up into the sky, maybe even wrapping it around, taking hold of the thigh. Continuing to twist through the spine. Releasing the hand back up to the sky, drawing it back down, planting it into the floor. And then inhaling once more, opening through the spine and releasing. Sinking back into a wide-legged pose of the child. So knees come a little wider than hip width distance apart, sinking the body down, resting the forehead on the floor, pausing for a moment. And then inhaling, lifting up, setting ourselves up to work with the opposite side. So this time lifting through the opposite arm, all the way up, left arm lifts, exhaling, sweeping that arm down underneath you, resting on the shoulder, keeping the shoulder active and away, drawing away from the ear. Inhaling, lifting up. Once more, exhaling, sweeping that arm through. And then if you would like to, lifting up through the opposite arm, either just holding it up in the sky. Imagine it's pulling up into the sky, helping you lift the upper body away from the floor. Or if you would like to, sweeping that arm down behind you, seeing if you can reach to the thigh. Continuing to open through the spine. And then releasing, taking that arm back up into the sky, drawing it down to the floor, pushing into the hand, lifting up, opening, looking up to the top hand, releasing back down to the floor. From here, let's come back onto the heels of the feet and work with a gentle wrist stretch. So we want to simply spin the fingers towards the knees and then gently push the wrists down towards the floor. So taking this gently, working within your abilities, listening to the body. If you can easily bring the palms of the hands down to the floor, then we can simply move the hands a little further away from the knees so that we increase the stretch through the forearms and the wrists. Gently releasing, coming up, having a shake out through the wrists. And then if your wrists are up to it, let's find our way into down dog. So once again in tabletop, and then tucking those toes under, let's lift the buttocks up towards the sky. Just pedaling for a moment here in down dog. So pushing one heel and then the other down to the floor. Pushing both heels down to the floor. And then lifting your right leg up into the sky. Looking forward. And then seeing if we can step that leg to the outside of the right foot. If you need to, then bringing the knee down to the floor, moving this foot into position. And then from here, let's see if we can just come into a lunge. So gently softening the pelvis down towards the floor, looking forward. If you would like the extra challenge, you can see if you can bring the elbows down to the floor. Aiming to keep that knee pointed up towards the sky, so trying not to splay open with the knee. Returning back up to the hands. Let's tuck the back toes under, and then let's walk that foot back, lifting the back knee off the floor, pushing the foot into the sky, and then releasing back down into down dog. Pedaling through the legs once more. And then taking the left foot this time up into the sky, looking to the hands, seeing if we can step the foot through to the outside of the left hand. Dropping that back knee down to the floor, untucking the toes, gently pausing here. So if this is too much for you, you can always lift up, bringing the body upright, supporting that knee. If you're comfortable to do so, bringing the hands or even the elbows down to the floor. Breathing here. And then gently working our way back up onto the hands. Tucking those toes under. And then seeing if we can, in one smooth movement, lift that back knee off the floor. And then stepping the foot back behind you. Again, pedaling out through the legs, really working to extend and lengthen through the upper body, feeling the hands pushing into the floor so that we're pushing the tailbone back towards the heels and at the same time lengthening through the backs of the legs so that we're pushing the tailbone up into the sky. Pushing both heels down to the floor. And then coming down onto knees, sinking ourselves back into the pose of the child. So bringing the hips or the buttocks back to the heels, resting the forehead down on the floor, either leaving the arms long in front of you or alternatively wrapping them down alongside the body. Breathing here. Observing the breath as it travels down into the belly, feeling the breath pushing down into the belly and the belly pushing down into the thighs. And then inhaling, lifting yourself up. And then let's come into a seated position, bringing the soles of the feet together. And then bringing the hands around the ankles, let's work to gently rock from side to side, massaging through the buttocks. And then coming back to center, inhaling, let's interlace the fingers, wrapping the fingers around the toes, allowing the eyes to close, and then feathering through the knees. So allowing the knees here to move up and down at whatever pace is right for you. Taking the awareness into the body, into the sensations of the movement. And then let's bring the knees to a still point, blinking the eyes open and working to open the hips a little bit more before we come into Yoga Mudra. So aiming to have the right foot, right leg in front of you, down on the floor with the shin approximately parallel with the front of your mat, and then aiming to bring the opposite leg on top. So aiming to have both shins parallel with the front of the mat. If that's not doable, you can shift that ankle back so that we're in a more comfortable cross-legged position, keeping some gentle flexion through both feet so that we're protecting the knees. And then this might be enough for you that you can feel the hip joint here starting to open, or if you would like to, you can gently bring the hands in front of you and seeing if you can walk the hands away from the body. Breathing and seeing if we can soften with the exhalation. Remembering if there's any pain or discomfort through the knee joint, then gently easing yourself up. Repositioning the foot might help, so you might like to bring that foot a little closer in towards the pelvis, and then you can experiment with coming back into the posture, or alternatively, just visualizing, imagining that you are coming into this position. Let's inhale, lifting up, and then let's swap the legs over. So gently releasing that top leg, slowly releasing the lower leg, and then swapping over. So this time drawing the right leg down first, aiming to bring that shin parallel with the floor, and then the left leg travels on top. Again, approximately parallel with the floor, that's the direction that we're aiming for, but it may not be where we're at today. Pausing wherever you need to, wherever you feel the stretch. So finding the stretch, but not finding pain or discomfort. Keeping that flexion through the foot, traveling the heart down towards the floor. Breathing, softening through the shoulders. Seeing if you can soften a little further with each exhalation. So sending the breath into the tightness as we inhale, softening as we exhale. And then gently walking the hands back towards the body. Slowly, let's unwrap those legs. Again, supporting the knee, supporting the ankle as we release out. And then gently pointing and flexing through the feet. Having a shake out. And then finding a comfortable position for Yoga Mudra. So any cross-legged position, if cross legs is uncomfortable for you, then having the legs out in front. Cupping the hands by the hips, allowing the eyes to close. Pausing for a moment. And then bringing the hands into position, ready to start to come into Yoga Mudra. So backs of the hands rest over the knees. Forefinger comes into the pad of the thumbs. Remaining 3 fingers are outstretched and together, keeping that length that we've created through the spine, feeling the shoulders soft. And then inhaling, sweeping the arms back behind you, drawing them up to shoulder height, softening through the wrists and the elbows. And then exhaling, let's fold the body forward, crossing the wrists over the lower back, bowing the forehead down towards the floor. Bowing this first time in respect for self. Pausing to acknowledge the choice, the decision that you have made to be here in this moment, to spend this time on yourself, on your yoga practice. Inhaling, let's lift the body up, bringing the arms out to shoulder height, softening. Exhaling, releasing the hands down in line with the hips, sweeping the arms forward, backs of the hands come to rest over the knee. Pausing. And then inhaling, sweeping the arms back, drawing them up to shoulder height, softening through the wrists and the elbows. Exhaling, folding the body forward, crossing the wrists over the lower back, bowing the forehead down towards the floor. Bowing this second time in respect for others. Pausing to acknowledge all of the people here in this moment taking this class. That we are here, although connected online, we are nonetheless connected in community. Bowing in respect for the others taking this class. Inhaling, lifting the body up, bringing the arms out to shoulder height, softening. Exhaling, sweeping the arms back down, drawing them forward. Backs of the hands come to rest over the knees. Pausing with the eyes closed. Working a third and final time. Let's inhale, drawing the hands back, drawing them up to shoulder height, softening. Exhaling, folding the body forward, crossing the wrists over the lower back, bowing the forehead down towards the floor. Bowing this third and final time in respect for all that is. Acknowledging that as we work on ourselves, we grow and evolve into the best version of ourselves. This in turn has an impact on those around us. As they change, grow and evolve, that has an impact on the people around them. And so the chain continues, bowing in respect for all that is. Inhaling, lifting the body up, bringing the arms out to shoulder height, softening. Exhaling, releasing the hands down in line with the hips, sweeping the arms forward, backs of the hands come to rest over the knees. Softening through the elbows, releasing the fingers, and pausing with the eyes closed. Gently blinking the eyes open, let's unwrap the legs, extending the legs out long, pointing and flexing through the feet, maybe having a shake out through the legs if we need to, and then preparing to come into a spine twist. So sweeping your left leg around and then drawing the right foot into the thigh. So finding a comfortable position here. Sole of the foot faces up towards the sky. Sole of the right foot pushes gently in towards the thigh, feeling that we can lift and lengthen through the spine. Cupping the hands by the hips, so fingers point in towards the hips. Pausing with the eyes closed for a moment. And then blinking the eyes open, let's turn to look out to the left, bringing that left arm up to shoulder height. Exhaling, sweeping the arm up and over, drawing the hand down to the knee. Looking out to the right, bringing the right arm up to shoulder height, exhaling, sweeping that hand back behind you, and then drawing the hand down, aiming to bring the hand to take hold of the heel of the foot. Lifting and lengthening through the spine, twisting, looking back behind you. Feeling the crown of the head lifting up into the sky, feeling the twist through the spine. Continuing to breathe deeply. And then inhaling. Exhaling, returning the head back to center, releasing the hands back to starting position, pausing with the eyes closed. Let's inhale a nice deep breath, drawing it from the base of the spine up into the crown of the head. And exhaling, sweeping that breath out through the body. Gently blinking the eyes open, setting ourselves up to work with the opposite side. So gently releasing the bent leg out from underneath you. Extending through the right leg, pointing and flexing through the feet for a moment. And then this time, bending that right leg back behind you. Bringing the left foot into the thigh, making sure that we feel comfortable here. So arranging the hips as you need to, cupping the hands. And then turning to look out to the right, lifting and lengthening through the spine. We inhale, drawing the arm up to shoulder height, exhaling, sweeping that arm up and over, bringing the hand down to the knee. Turning to look out to the left, we inhale, bringing the left arm up to shoulder height, exhaling, sweeping the arm back behind you, and then drawing it all the way down, ideally coming to hold onto that heel of the foot. If you can't reach the heel, you might find that you can just bring the hand to the lower back or maybe the waist. Again, inhaling, let's lift and lengthen. Exhaling, twisting back behind you. Visualizing the twist through the spine. Imagining that we are wringing the spine out. Working to refresh the cerebrospinal fluid. Supporting a strong, supple spine that helps us be strong as well as be flexible in the moment. Inhaling, returning the head back to center, bringing the hands back to starting position, pausing with the eyes closed. Once more, let's inhale deeply, drawing the breath from the base of the spine up into the crown of the head. And exhaling, sending that breath out through the body. Visualizing a young, supple spine supporting us, keeping us flexible while also strong. Gently, let's blink the eyes open, releasing the legs and coming to lie down on the back of the body. So rolling yourself all the way down, hugging the knees into the chest. And then just making sure that the spine feels nice and long. Squeezing the legs in, and then let's come into the wedge. So bringing the hands over the knees, running those hands down the front of the shins, bringing the feet flat to the floor as close as we comfortably can to the buttocks. Hands are down on the floor by our sides. Feeling the shoulder blades and the shoulders softening down towards the floor so that we're opening through the chest. Let's inhale as we lift through the pelvis, peeling the spine off the floor, lifting the heels off the floor, interlacing the fingers underneath the body, squeezing the shoulder blades together so that we can lift even higher up into position. Releasing the hands, bringing the hands to support the lower back or the buttocks. And if you would like to, bringing the heels of the feet down to the floor. Continuing to lift through the pelvis, keeping the engagement through the thighs, making sure that the knees are not splaying out to the side. So shins and knees are running up into the sky, running vertically. Breathing deeply here, sending the breath down into the belly. And then to release out of this position, we bring the heels back up off the floor, hands come back down to the floor, heels come back to the floor, slowly releasing one vertebra at a time as we roll the body back down. Bringing the knees into the chest, squeezing them in, hugging the knees in, and releasing. Bringing the hands back down to the floor. Feet come up into the sky, engaging through the core, slowly with control. Let's lower the heels down towards the floor. Turning the palms of the hands to face up towards the sky, gently allowing the eyes to close. Feeling the breath traveling freely down into the belly. Just aiming to watch the movement of the breath, not trying to change it in any way. And then blinking the eyes open, drawing the hands over the heart, engaging through the core. Let's lift through the head, looking to the toes. And then inhaling, pushing into the hands, lifting to sit up. Working our way into creative power pose. So pulling the padding out from underneath the sitting bones, cupping the hands, fingers point in towards the hips, lifting and lengthening. Inhaling, circling the arms up overhead, looking up, reaching up. Exhaling, keeping that length through the spine as we lower down. Taking a comfortable grip of the legs, let's inhale, lifting, exhaling, folding down. Closing, pausing, closing the eyes. Feeling perhaps that stretch through the backs of the legs. Feeling a gentle squeeze through the groin. And then gently releasing the hands, engaging that core, inhaling, lifting the body up. Exhaling, circling the arms down, interlacing the fingers, wrapping the arms around the knees, pausing with the feet off the floor. Breathing here. And then blinking the eyes open, bringing the feet down to the floor, and then coming into position to work with the bandhas. So coming to sit on the heels, knees gently rest on the floor, spine is nice and upright, hands just rest on the thighs. Making sure that when we do this, we release all of the breath from the body. And I would suggest you check this by seeing if you can breathe out a little further. So to begin with, just exhaling, inhaling deeply, filling up through the belly, through the chest, the tops of the lungs, holding the breath. Exhaling everything out through the mouth. So really working to push the breath out through the mouth. And then sucking the stomach muscles back up and underneath the rib cage, tucking the chin into the chest. Engaging through the pelvic floor. Holding for as long as you can with no breath in the body. Inhaling, lifting up, exhaling, untucking the toes, softening the body forward, coming to rest on two fists. Breathing here. And then inhaling, lifting yourself back up, working a second time. Remembering that you can always come up to standing, bringing the legs into the same position, but in standing if this is too uncomfortable on the toes. Okay, exhaling, and then inhaling deeply. Holding, exhaling through the mouth. With no breath left in the body, we suck the stomach muscles back up and underneath the rib cage, tucking the chin into the chest. You might like to pretend through the lungs or the ribs that you are inhaling without letting any extra air in, and that will help you lift everything a little more tightly up. Inhaling, lifting up when you need to. Exhaling, folding the body forward, softening down. Breathing here. And then inhaling, lifting yourself up, tucking the toes under, working a third and final time, giving that digestive region a beautiful massage. So let's exhale. Inhaling. Holding that full breath. Exhaling. Sucking the stomach muscles back up and under, chin tucked into the chest, engaging through the pelvic floor. Inhaling when you need to breathe, lifting up, exhaling, folding yourself down. Coming to lie down, resting the forehead on the floor or on your hands. And then gently lifting yourself up. And then let's come to tabletop once more today. Working with bow in cat, seeing if we can find that balance in cat while we work with our adrenal glands, working to refresh the fluids around the adrenal glands so that they are there working for us when we need them and able to switch off and have a break when we don't need them. So making sure that we feel nice and firmly weighted down through the body. And then let's look forward, lifting through the left hand, right leg, and then sweeping the hand around, lifting, bending through the knee, seeing if we can take hold of the foot. Once you have hold of the foot or the ankle, again, making sure we're still looking forward, opening through the chest, lifting the knee up towards the sky, and then aiming to take the foot up into the sky. If you feel wobbly or unbalanced, gently shifting that weight forward slightly into the hand, working to push down into the hand at the same time that you kick that leg up into the sky. If you can't reach the foot, simply leaving the arm extended and aiming to lift that foot up into the sky. Releasing out of the position, we extend the leg, extend the arm, drawing them back down to the floor, and then pushing away through the spine. And releasing, coming back to center and working with the opposite side. So this time extending through the opposite arm, opposite leg. So right arm, left leg, sweeping the arm around, bending through the knee, taking hold of the foot or the ankle, looking forward, squaring the chest forward, and then opening through the chest, lifting the knee up into the sky, extending that foot up into the sky as well. Pushing down into the top hand, kicking that foot up into the sky, breathing here, and then releasing. So extending the arm, extending the leg, drawing them back down to the floor, again pushing away through the spine. And releasing, working your way down, coming to lie down on the front of the body, turning the head gently to one side, pausing for a moment, and then setting ourselves gently up for Cobra. So to work with Cobra, we have the hands in underneath the shoulders, forearms are flat on the floor, turning the head, tucking the chin so that we can bring the forehead flat to the floor. And then bringing the hands, if you need to, work with Sphinx, so our more gentle variation. If we have any issues through the lower back, we bring the hands one hand's length forward. And of course, as you lift up, we stay on the forearms. So for either position, We inhale, lifting through the head, lifting through the chest. Shoulder blades continue to draw back and down. And then if you're going to lift up into the full position, we gently push into the hands, lifting the diaphragm and the belly off the floor. Rather than thinking about lifting up here, we want to think about pushing the heart forward. Keeping that slight bend through the elbows, continuing to draw the elbows in towards the chest. Making sure that the shoulders are still soft and that we're continuing to lift and lengthen through the lower back. Breathing here. Inhaling. Let's exhale as we soften the body down, tucking the chin under, forehead returns to the floor. And then pushing ourselves back into a wide-legged pose of the child once more today. So knees are a little wider than hip width distance apart. Buttocks sink back to the heels, resting the forehead down on the floor. Your choice, either leaving the arms extended out in front of you or wrapping the arms down alongside the legs. Pausing here, just taking the awareness into the breath. Noticing the breath traveling down into the belly. Noticing the belly pushing out into the thighs. Noticing the softening through the lower back. When you're ready, gently lifting yourself up and coming to lie down on the back of the body so that we can work once more with the pose of tranquility today. So having another go at this, we worked with this one last week. So bringing the hands down by your side and then taking the feet up into the sky, inhaling, and then exhaling. We take the feet back behind the head, feeling balanced here. So the toes may or may not be touching the floor. We bring the arms back behind us overhead. And then gently having the feet about hip width distance apart, gently running the hands along the legs so that we can find a balance on the shoulders. Pausing here, feeling the gentle squeeze or lock over the throat. Continuing to breathe, working here with the thyroid gland. So that squeeze or lock over the throat, working with the thyroid gland so that then when we release, the gland is flooded with new, fresh, oxygenated blood, helping it to operate at its optimum. So to release out of this position, we simply run the hands back down the front of the legs, releasing the arms back down to the floor, leaving the hands overhead, and then slowly unwinding the body. So keeping that control through the abdominal region as we gently unwind the body. Keeping the control as we lower the heels down to the floor. And then releasing the hands down to the floor as well, pausing for a moment here. And then if you're comfortable to do so, just leaving the eyes closed as we move into the fish. So bending the knees, bringing the feet flat to the floor, lifting through the pelvis so that we can bring the hands underneath the body, interlacing the thumbs, and then releasing the thumbs, coming down onto flat hands, lowering the buttocks back down to rest on the hands, extending through the legs, pushing into the elbows as we lift the heart up into the sky, and draping the head back behind you. Pausing here. And then gently releasing yourself down, lengthening through the spine as we lower down, making sure that we do not turn the head at any point there, releasing the hands out from underneath the body and slowly turning the head from one side to the other side. Coming back to center. Just bringing the awareness once more into the body. And then slowly working our way up to a seated position so that we can come into the elephant, our final posture before relaxation. So inhaling, lifting, pushing into the hands, and then swinging yourself around. Coming onto all fours, tucking the toes under. And then let's lift the tailbone up into the sky, looking to the feet and stepping the feet to match width distance apart. Lengthening through the backs of the legs, pushing into the hands, feeling the spine long, and then just allowing that head and the neck to softly drape between the shoulders. So nodding yes and no, just allowing the head to dangle here. Pausing briefly. And then looking to the hands, lifting the heels off the floor, stepping the feet back together, bringing the knees back down to the floor, untucking the toes, and then bringing the forehead to rest on two fists. Having those fists float slightly off the floor so that the head and the heart are parallel with the floor. Inhaling, lifting yourself up, and then coming to lie down, finding a comfortable position for relaxation. So lying the body all the way down, flat to the floor, grabbing a blanket if you have one handy, and then just allowing the eyes to softly close, making sure the spine feels long and aligned. Feeling the shoulder blades drawing down the back of the body, feeling the shoulders melting gently down into the floor. Just starting to let go of any effort, any sense of doing, of pushing, of trying or forcing. Just allowing yourself to rest comfortably, to pause gently on the floor. Releasing the hands down to the floor, and then turning the palms of the hands to face up towards the sky, and just allowing the fingers to lightly curl. Feeling the breath as it softly travels down into the belly, softening through the thighs, releasing the shins and the calf muscles, feeling the ankles and the feet gently soften. Drawing the awareness up into the scalp, releasing and softening through the scalp and the forehead. Allowing the eyes to sink deeply into their sockets, releasing tension through the jaw. And then allowing the tongue to rest gently in your mouth. With your next inhalation, bringing some movement into the fingers and the toes. Taking the arms up overhead, having a nice big stretch out. And then rolling over onto one side and slowly making your way up to a seated position. Finding a comfortable seat. Drawing the hands to the heart. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling as we gently bow the head below the heart. Sending some thoughts of kindness, of gratitude first to yourself. And then extending those thoughts out to others. Inhaling, lifting the body up. And then exhaling, releasing the hands, blinking the eyes open. And thank you for joining me.